everyone, and welcome to another video. It has been a while indeed, so let's talk about it. So as you can see, there are a couple of changes on the screen. There's a new angle to the videos. There's also a new brand in front of you, and this is also a new approach that I will be taking when it comes to the videos in the future. So hopefully the quality is good, hopefully the audio is as good as it was, or hopefully even better. And with that, let's get into the topic of today's video. Today I will be reviewing my actual signature fragrance, a fragrance that has accompanied me through, I would say, more than a year, and the fragrance that I almost always gravitated to when I needed something that I can rely on. In this video I will be talking about a fragrance from the house of Henri Jacques, and this is the probably wrong way to pronounce this house, so if there are any French natives, please do let me know in the comments. But the fragrance itself is called Roi sans Equipage. It essentially means a king without entourage. The presentation is sublime, beautiful quality, very, very sturdy when it comes to the packaging. As you can see, kind of a Louis Vuitton-esque orange in the middle. But again, this is miles above any Louis Vuitton products, especially fragrances. Nothing written on the bottom, everything is perfectly clean. And if I lift this up, you will see that the fragrance is perfectly housed within the fragrance enclosure. Now you will notice a couple of things here. You will notice first and foremost that I've used a lot of this fragrance. It is for a reason a signature fragrance for me. It is a fragrance that I go to and I have no idea what else to wear. As you can see, the name is on the bottom. I doubt you will be able to pick it up. Made in France. Beautiful juice color, as you can see. Just a stunning presentation of a even more stunning fragrance. So let's spray the fragrance. Beautiful pressurized atomizer, as you expect for the money. I mean, this fragrance is truly one of the best fragrances on the market. So let's take a closer look to the bottle. Hopefully the new camera will pick this up nicely. As you can see, this has seen the world. So I've taken this fragrance to multiple countries. This fragrance has seen many occasions, many tests of courage, many character developments. This fragrance has seen it all. And there's a lot of memories bottled in this particular bottle. I've never really learned how to use up a bottle of fragrance. It has always felt weird because every time I buy a fragrance, I expect I just simply have the smell until I, decide to either sell the fragrance or, until I get bored of a particular DNA. So to me, it is always a very interesting concept of just simply getting to, close to finishing a fragrance. It is a finite experience, as you can imagine, buying a fragrance. Of course, you can always buy a new one unless it's discontinued. But yeah, it's a topic that I've always struggled with, to be honest. And even, some of the rare fragrances that I've finished, I always keep the bottles, which definitely does not improve my storage capacity in any way. So very, very interesting thing indeed. I'm having a little celebratory glass of Chardonnay to restart the channel, so to say, in a new way, and also to welcome the family of Henri Jacques to the channel. I have a lot of fragrances from them. As you can see, there's a beautiful collector's box behind me with 3 more fragrances. I have another fragrance coming tomorrow. Essentially, you will be seeing more from Henri Jacques on this channel. So if you're into these fragrances, and again, this is kind of the niche of the niche, then stay tuned to the channel. But first and foremost, cheers guys. Before we get into the notes of of this beautiful fragrance, I do want to rotate my new toy a bit close to one of the remaining pieces of my Roja collection. Now, no doubt, most of you have probably subscribed to this channel because of the Roja reviews and videos. I'm kind of happy, but also a little bit sad to say I've liquidated almost everything from the Roja house. And there's a couple of reasons why. I think primarily the main reason why I've done that is because I don't simply stand behind the house anymore. I don't like the way they do business. I don't like the way they do marketing. I don't like the way they address the market itself. And then, of course, most importantly, I just don't like any of the new stuff they're putting out. Everything that they put out is actual trash, starting from the change of the bottles they've used to the slow and gradual removal of Roja from the bottles. If you look at the newest bottles coming out right now, they've even changed the packaging completely, so it doesn't even look like Roja anymore. It just looks like a random, niche house with one singular Roja at the front. But then again, I also want to say thank you to the house itself, because it has essentially been a big part of my life over the past 5 years. I've gotten to the point where I've owned pretty much every single Roja that there is, with a couple of exceptions, simply because I didn't like the fragrance itself. But it was a warehouse that made me want to have every single bottle from their collection. And as you can see in some of the shots, and again, this is only a small portion of the Roja portfolio, you will see that there is a lot of time and effort that has been put into gathering all of these fragrances. I didn't simply walk into the store and shell out, 20K, just to buy these fragrances. These have been acquired, mostly piece by piece from, other collectors, friends, and the people that I've met along the way, which is also something that I'm very grateful for. This hobby is a hobby that's going to lead you places that you're not even aware of, to be honest. And I've met some wonderful people that I'm now tagging along with on the next collector's journey, which is Jacques in his case. So I've met a lot of people. I've had beautiful memories in multiple cities, in multiple countries, trying out Roja, from Spain to London to France to the Netherlands. I've seen a lot of the stores come and go, and I've met some amazing people along the journey. So the House of Roja has and always will be in my heart, and even though I've sold almost all of my collection, there are two things that will always remain in the collection. That is a collector's edition box that you've seen in some of my previous videos, which is the white 3-piece one, because that has a lot of special meaning to me. And of course, an empty bottle of Diaghilev, right? So coming back to what I started the video with, parting ways with a used fragrance is always very difficult, and Diaghilev for me is a thing that I will remember Mr. Rojadove for even after he steps down, which is of course something that he wanted and said himself is one of his main goals, is to be remembered as a person who has created Diaghilev, with a couple of other fragrances as well, but Diaghilev will be definitely taking the first place. So starting off with fragrance that we have in front of us. This is a beautifully executed old school masculine fragrance, but if you are into the somewhat vintage / old school masculine smells, then you will simply fall in love with this fragrance. Now, when I say that, I'm not necessarily talking about fragrances like Monsieur, or Bois de Portugal, or any of the fragrances that lean towards that specific type of a smell. Even though the House of Jacques has one fragrance that I've smelled so far that is exactly that, which is called Sacha, or De Sacha, number 11. But in this case, we're talking about a different beast altogether. It's a very smooth, velvety fragrance with a lot of masculine undertones. And essentially it boils down to this fragrance being a woody, spicy, smoky, leathery fragrance, okay? Now, when it comes to the notes of, and for the sake of my mispronunciations sounding worse after I've had a couple of these, I'm gonna call this fragrance RSE, right? So, Roissance Equipage. I'm gonna call it RSE. So the notes of RSE essentially start with clary sage, bergamot, and pepper, right? So off the top, masculine, beautiful. I was under the impression that for the longest amount of time, I'm not a fan of clary sage. I was wrong, because if this is what a proper clary sage smells like, then I am a fan. Now, in the heart notes, you'll find jasmine. If you watch this channel at all, You know that I am a huge fan of the note of jasmine. I grew up with a garden thanks to my mom. The note of jasmine is amazing. That is one thing that I've always loved about Roja fragrances as well, is the note of jasmine used in the hearts, and Henry Jacques uses jasmine as well in the hearts, but in this case they combine it with two arguably most masculine notes you can probably think of, which is tobacco and patchouli. Now this really sets the tone of the fragrance, and as soon as the bergamot pepper with the sage kind of start to fade, which is rather fast, you are immediately greeted with the heart notes, as I mentioned, of jasmine, patchouli, and tobacco, which really set the tone for this fragrance of being a very deep, velvety, smoky, leathery, woody, manly fragrance. This is a fragrance that will be turning heads. And then last but not least, and definitely not least, the base notes. Ambergris, leather, woody notes. Incredible, right? Glorious, beautiful backing of already masculine notes such as patchouli and tobacco. This is backed up even further with more manly notes such as leather, woody notes, as I said, and ambergris. So beautiful combination. This reminds me a little bit of the good old Cree days when it comes to the ambergris, because you're getting this little, I don't want to say sparkly effect, because I noticed I said that in pretty much every video that I do, but you do notice a little bit of that ozonic uplift coming from the ambergris itself, right? As I've shown you in the photos before, I've smelled the real deal many times by now in many boutiques. They have it in a lot of boutiques actually, and it really lifts up the base a little bit to freshen it up, to make it more ozonic, so it doesn't bog you down. So it's not necessarily a winter only fragrance. This is something you can wear pretty much in the spring as well, in the fall, and of course in the winter if you want to do that. Not a summer fragrance, even though it has bergamot in the opening. Not a summer fragrance at all. I would not wear this in the summer, as I said. But in the other 3 seasons, gorgeous, beautiful, especially if there's a breeze, if there's a wind, if there's a little bit of a, colder evening in the spring, this fragrance shines. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's amazing. I love it. I wore it pretty much in all of these occasions. I love it so much. I wore it in the summer as well. I liked it. However, if you are looking to pick a Henry Jacques up, and of course the summer is approaching, this is not the one I would go for, even though it is my signature scent, even though it's, in my opinion, top 2 Henry Jacques, if not the top 1. I would probably not pick this one up for the summer. If you, and I doubt you will, if you can find this one used or a partial or anything like that, then of course pick it up, because these are very hard to find unless you of course buy them retail, or unless you know a collector that already has a couple and he or she is selling them maybe at a reduced price, between friends, between collectors and so on. So this is very hard to find if you go to any of the marketplaces, but mostly on Perfume, you will very rarely find any Henry Jacques being sold, and if they are sold, they will be very close to the retail price anyway, because of course Henry Jacques is not being sold by any third-party retailer. They're only sold at their own boutiques, and hence they control the distribution of the fragrances, and you will never find Henry at a discount or anything like that. If you want to try any of the Henry Jacques, you have to try them in the physical store locations that they have across the globe. Now, unlucky for me, they don't have them in the Netherlands where I live, but they do have them in Paris. And as most of you would agree, you don't need too many excuses to go and visit Paris, right? So, and that's exactly what I've done. So as you see on the photo, I've been to Paris a couple of times by now, and I've had the pleasure to visit Henry Jacques and also buy fragrances from them. And it is a true niche house with even select materials that they keep for themselves that you can try, and even select formulations that they have just for the customers to try out without them ever being able to be sold. I've tried the best leathers at Henry Jacques. I've smelled real ambergris. I've smelled real ingredients, raw ingredients that have simply put a smile on my face, especially after coming from or smelling designer fragrances. If you really want to level up your game and understand how the real thing is meant to smell and actually smells, then I would highly encourage you to go to the boutique in Paris, or I believe they have one in the UK. They have, I think, one in the States, if I'm not mistaken, in Beverly Hills, and in the Middle East as well, in Asia, right? So it's a very selective, kind of a brand when it comes to where they have their locations. But if you're close, if you're able to travel, if you go for a business trip, for a vacation, honeymoon, and you're able to go to one of these stores to try these fragrances, I would highly encourage you to do so. Now, I've spent hours in their boutiques trying incredible oils, incredible perfumes, raw ingredients, as I said. And it is only with smiles and a lot less money in my bank account that I've walked out of these stores. Now, with an exception of one or two fragrances across the board, if you only want the best possible smell of the fragrance you already love, right, you have to go with oils, because they are simply richer, deeper. They will, of course, last longer on the skin, but they will not project as much as the Les Bruns do, right? So keep that in mind. If you're used to spraying the fragrances like any other, fragrance brand, then you would want to go with the Les Bruns. If you want the oil, as true collectors and connoisseurs will encourage you to do, then of course you can go with the oil. Now they come in 15 and 30 ml sizes, and the Les Bruns, which is again the typical alcohol version of the fragrance, then you are looking at the 75 ml Les Bruns in this case. Now, to give you a little bit of a sneak peek preview what else I have from the brand, I will open up my treasure box just for you guys and show you how it looks like when you buy a 3-piece from them. Now, needless to say, I think you can probably guess from the presentations, but this is not a budget purchase by any means. Okay, so this is not something you are just picking up instead of a fragrance you can buy from Sephora. So this is serious money, as Roja was at some point. So keep that in mind. But this is what you get. So if I remove this, you will see 3 other beautiful pieces that I have in my collection. If you guys want, I will be more than happy to do reviews on them as well. And then at the bottom, you will see a little compartment that you can store your accessories in. So if I open it up, okay, so if I open it up and lift it up so you guys can see, you will see that a fragrance comes in with this type of a cap. And what you need to do is you need to unscrew or take out this cap and essentially manually put in the sprayer. So that's one thing you should do. So that's what I've done, but they give you a perfectly sized little holder here so you can hold all of them safely, right? So this has been my review of Royson's Equipage from Jacques. Again, beautiful French house, beautiful fragrances, amazing quality. The projection on these fragrances is not the best. Again, if you want the longest longevity and performance from Jacques, you need to buy the oils. However, for me, the 6 to 7 hours that I'm getting from the Les Bruns is more than enough. And again, you can always, of course, respray if you want a nice refresh. So beautiful house. I definitely recommend to check them out, because you will find a very, very high quality fragrance that you might want to pick up for special occasions, or just add to your collection in general. So a bit more direction when it comes to the channel itself. What I will be doing with this channel is I will be adding a little bit more of a personal touch to it. I will not just be talking about fragrances. So it will be more like today, a bit more lifestyle introduced. Fragrances are far from my only hobby, and I would love to combine them and essentially form a little bit of an identity when it comes to this channel. So that is something that I plan to do. Hopefully most of you will stick around and join me in that journey. One channel that has inspired me a lot when it comes to getting back into the YouTube game and in general of the direction that this channel will go in. I have to give a shout out to Oceania, and I apologize for the mispronunciation of the name, probably. But I've been watching the guy for 3-4 years at least for the COVID lockdown. It's not a fragrance channel, it's a watch channel, but the way that the filming is being done, the way that a story is being told, and the cinematography is simply inspiring. So if you go and check out his channel, take 1/20th of that channel. That's what I inspire to be in the next couple of months, and then hopefully, you know, once I get better, you know, I can you know, start to produce content that is even remotely close to what he's doing. But also, you know, again, so special shout out to him. Not that he needs it, of course, you know, at this point, big channel, but he has helped me, you know, pick out, you know, camera gear and equipment. So I do really appreciate that. Thanks again for the patience. I've been hearing a lot of comments and reading a lot of comments actually that a lot of you have bought fragrances that I've recommended. And so, you know, even though it doesn't affect me, you know, personally too much, I do appreciate that you guys trust my judgment and trust the reviews that I'm putting out. All of what I ever had and probably ever will have when it comes to fragrances is something that I've purchased myself with my own money. So the only opinion that you're getting here is my own. And to hear back that a lot of, you know, viewers of the channel have purchased fragrances that they enjoy and love is definitely you know, a very, very cool experience. And as I said in, you know, some of my previous videos, one of the main reasons why I'm even doing this in the first place is to essentially help someone find their next signature scent. And in this video, I have shared with you mine, and hopefully you get a chance to try it out. Let me know how you like it. Let me know if you want me to do any other reviews, if you want me to cover any other topics. So as you've probably seen by the video, I'm into wine, watches, and cars, and perfumes. So if there's anything you would love me to cover in those fronts, please let me know. But rest assured, I will cover that passively as I've done in this video. So hopefully you'll enjoy that as well. So again, thanks for watching, thanks for the time, and I hope to see you next time on the Fragrance and Zora channel.